And when they got the purse increase,
Sure.
I made the change, and it's been really good for us. And I've got some owners that are excited, and I'm excited, and we're looking forward to being permanent New York mainstays.
And of course, with the purse structure, pretty much every trainer that we've spoken to over the last couple of weeks has said the same thing. Well, the purse structure is here. Of course, it makes things that much more competitive because, as you saw, we just had Eddie Keneally here. He's in from Kentucky, a group of guys from Kentucky, as well as a lot of trainers from the Mid-Atlantic, all deciding they're gonna move their gear in here. Tell us a little bit about the size of your stable and the makeup of your stable.
I mean, I'm rounded out about 50 head between Monmouth Park and Saratoga, and it's been really good. We run a good operation, tight ship, and we try to be competitive. And you need the clients behind you to be able to do that.
And most of the trainers have indicated as well that they're, even trainers that have not had a foundation in New York over the course of years, looking into the New York bred program. You've got, do you have a few New York breds in your outfit?
I do, and that was one of the reasons for coming to New York in the fall. When I usually go to Florida, I had 7 or 8 New York breds, and it kind of made sense to keep those horses where normally I would give 2 or 3 up for the winter. Sent the 8 up with some claiming horses and some allowance horses, and we did Aqueduct for the winter.
And you've obviously had good success and, continued success even out of the Aqueduct meet through Belmont and right up here.
Yes,
You're hitting at a very high percentage this year. You're doing a great job spotting your horses. I think that's something that a lot of people, common fans of the game, don't really understand. Reading the condition book and spotting your horses properly, is that something I've noticed that with your horses at this meet? They're spotted particularly well in places that they have an opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, and I love it. I can't wait. I can't wait till the new book comes out, and I look, and you're like, I had a good summer, so I may run some horses over their head coming up. Maybe try to keep some horses for Belmont. But I enjoy getting that first book, I really do.
You said keep some horses for Belmont. Is when you're at Saratoga, it's the premier meet. Do you find that you're, guns a-blazing, coming out, just firing everything you can here at Saratoga, or when you get towards the end of the meet, are you thinking maybe let's hold a few back to run at Belmont?
Well, Robert, it takes the pressure off since I've had a good meet. If I hadn't, maybe I'd be, taking a little edge, dropping a horse. So I'm going to protect a few. And I think that'll be a good horse to have for the Belmont meet.
Now, we asked you before you came on, some people may know your brother, John Servis, who trained Smarty Jones, I guess that was about 8 years ago now, right, to a near Triple Crown victory. Talk a little bit about your relationship with him. Do you guys talk a lot of shop, or you keep it mostly family-based?
No, we're close, and we always have been, and I was fortunate enough to go to the Derby. Thanks to my wife, she made reservations, and I had too much going on. I couldn't go, and she said, well, there's, I want to say $900 in plane fare. We're going to lose if you don't go, so I went.
Oh, that's a good enough reason.
It was great. We're at the Preakness, and the whole thing.
Always listen to your wife.
Yeah. But she's a big part of my operation, and as you know, behind every good man's a good woman.
Well, tell us a little bit. I was at that Belmont as well when Smarty Jones was run down by Birdstone in the final strides. Really one of the more, I think, massive disappointments of 120,000 people. Just, even Tom Durkin was sounded like he was crushed when Birdstone passed Smarty Jones, and it is, a race, and to the best horses goes the spoils. But talk about what that experience was like, not only for you, but for your brother as well.
It was hard. I got to tell you, I broke down the Derby when I came down one step, and my brother came down the other step after Smarty won, and when I saw him, I just lost it. And I felt bad for John in the Belmont. I really did.
I think you and about 120,000 other people did. I was standing not far from Mary Lou Whitney, in fact, and I saw her turn to her husband, and I could read her lips. I was so close to her. She said, "What have we done?" Because she looked around, and and obviously that was nobody had shown up to see Birdstone win the Belmont, but a terrific run with an outstanding horse,
and he did a great job. He did.
Oh yeah,
he did a great job. John did.
And to get to the point where he did, and it wasn't like he disgraced himself in the Belmont. He ran a terrific race with not only Stu Elliott riding his horse, but Jerry Bailey and Gary Stevens riding his horse as well. So
Well, we don't go there. So.
I don't want to bring up old memories. You mentioned you got a kind of a mixed stable. You got some allowance and stakes type horses. You got a horse down in New Jersey that I absolutely love by the name of Exclusive Strike. He's a horse I've been a fan of down in New Jersey. Is he the type of horse you might see him coming up to New York, maybe an overnight stake or something like that?
He ran through his best number his last start, and I had actually toyed with that idea. It's funny that you brought that up. He likes Belmont. There's a handicap series at Monmouth, which that race has come this weekend. He's doing very good. I'm planning on running him there. I'm stable there, and I kind of want to support the meet. But he could show up in the fall at Belmont, absolutely.
Yeah,
and, if he's still around for the Claiming Crown at Gulfstream, December 1st, we're kind of pointing for that.
And that's a switch too. The Claiming Crown going down there, and I think nowadays, people my age, dating myself, you think of there's claiming horses, there's allowance horses, there's stakes horses, but nowadays the way the conditions are written between optional claimers and things like that, there's kind of a lot of crossover in certain divisions. So the Claiming Crown is a big boost having it down in Florida. That should give someone like yourself a terrific opportunity.
Very exciting, and we have got our eye out for some horses, and I understood they got the Eclipse Awards this year at the track too, correct?
I believe so. Yeah. So that should be kind of fun. It's nice to know that they're doing that kind of stuff, and I enjoy the Claiming Crown. But having it at Gulfstream, I think, is probably going to make it a little bit more, more of an impact than having it at, believe it was Canterbury Downs before.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about your background growing up. We mentioned your brother, John, is a trainer. Talk about your background in horses and how your family influenced you to get into this career.
Well, my dad was a jockey, and after he finished riding, he was a state steward at Charlestown for 35 plus years. And I can remember going under the fence at Shenandoah Downs and stealing the nickels out of the fountain when I was a kid. And at 16, I was riding races at a fair meet. And my brother was a groom, no pari-mutuel wager and stuff. Yeah, so it was kind of rough. But we came from horses our whole life, and it's in our blood.
How gratifying is it to come from those humble roots and be now here at the premier meet, having success, really the premier meet in our opinion in the world, but the pinnacle of racing here at Saratoga? I
mean, it's exciting. My dad, having been a jockey and been with the Jockeys Guild and been a steward, he's texting me all the time, and it's just, it's great. It's terrific. I mean, this is the place.
Yeah, this is if you're in the game, this is the place where everybody wants to be, as evidenced by by recent influx of a number of people. Tell us about one of the big activities up here, and one of the big things everybody's talking about is the claiming. How busy it's been at the claim box. I don't know how many total claims have been made yet at the meet, but I've heard talk that it was just an insane number, over 100 horses or close to 100 horses. You do have some horses in the claiming realm. Tell us a little bit about what you're looking for when you think, well, that might be one I'm looking to claim. Not anything specific. I don't want you to tip your hand about anything.
I mean, Saratoga's a great place to claim a horse. It's also a good place if you don't want to keep a horse. So you just got to pay attention and keep your eye out and be careful.
Yeah, a lot of people dropping horses down, so you got to be a little cautious about whether they're dropping down to win a race or dropping down to unload goods.
Right, exactly.
When you claim horses, are you looking more at how they're working out? Are you looking at their past performances on paper? Are you looking for a physical attribute that they have when you're taking a look at them?
I'm a little partial to old class horses. I kind of think if you could just sweeten them up a little bit, that maybe you can get some of those old back good numbers out of them. So,
horses that have run in higher level races in the past then?
Yeah, and I like to look at the rags, so I'll get the sheets, and if I see a horse has a 5, which is a really good number, maybe hasn't run in a while, at least I know he has that ability. You just got to get that out of him. And I enjoy that. I actually do.
Sounds like you're really a guy who likes studying not only the condition book, but the claiming game and really the nuances, taking more of a cerebral approach to it.
I love it. I love it. I guess that's the easiest way to sum it up. I just enjoy it the whole time.
Yeah, that's obviously a very multifaceted game between the the claiming side, the betting side, and so forth. And our audience, we're up here for about 6.5 weeks, and we get a chance to bring guests to our audience, introduce new people to our audience, and it certainly is nice to be able to do that and talk a little bit about the different sides. You've got a very different perspective on the game from the guy who's sitting in the stands saying, "Oh, I think the 4 looks good in this race."
Right.
When you're looking at that horse, thinking, "No, that's not one I want to claim," or "That's not one I'd want to look at."
Right.
I think it's interesting to see that difference of perspective.
Without putting you on the spot too much here, how much longer do you see yourself doing this? I mean, obviously you really love the game, and that's certainly something everybody can appreciate, but how much longer do you see yourself retiring? Or
No, I would love to make it as long as Alan Jerkins. I'm on the pony every day. I get on 2 horses every day. I stay fit. I mean, I may would I gear down? Sure, but I would keep going.
Excellent.
That's certainly good to see. And with Alan Jerkins out here as a goal for most of the trainers out here on the backstretch, everybody's got something high and mighty to look up to, and he's somebody that everybody out here appreciates the fact that he's still going. I believe his first career victory, 4th of July, 1950.
Wow.
So, we're hoping that far on down the line that we're all still here and we can be talking to you about
I
one of your
wasn't born
horses.
yet.
No, I wasn't either. A lot of people here on the backstretch weren't born yet, but still have that appreciation for Alan. What all the horsemen back here are doing. It's a lot of work, and we certainly do appreciate your time coming by.
Well, thank you
Absolutely.
for promoting the sport, and I'm happy to do it for you anytime.
We certainly
Thank
do
you.
appreciate it. We'll pause for a brief message, and when we return, we'll have more of Capital OTB's The Inside Track.
What would another ShopRite mean for you?
It means more chef-prepared meals to take home and call my own.
Another place to get help with healthy eating.
And another place to get